Good morning, class and clients. This week's video journal is about evidence-based practices as discussed in the IRIS module. As a resource teacher who pushes into the classrooms, I am familiar with several of these and have used them in the past. The first one I am familiar with is the functional behavioral analysis. This is the collecting of data through observations, interviews, and data collation. It is used to find what triggers the behavior and what in the environment is supporting its continued use. See, behavior serves as a function, and we have to find out what that function is for that behavior so we can teach a new replacement behavior. Reinforcement and prompting are also two other evidence-based practices that I have used. The first one, reinforcement, that involves giving the learner something positive or pleasant after they perform a behavior or desired skill. This can be an after one, this can be an after several. That's up to the professional and what they perceive as the student's needs to be. The next one is prompting. Prompting is when a student receives a gesture or a spoken word to remind them to use a certain skill or behavior. I use it in class to get them to remain on task, if they should somehow daydream and get off task. I've used reinforcement in the past. One notable example is, let's say my goal for a student is to complete all their homework this week. Let's say complete 10 out of 10 math assignments for 1 week. And as a reward or as a reinforcement, I can let that child have extra nutrition time or extra time on the computer. That is something that they would find desirable, and it would increase the use of preferred behavior. Another way that I have used prompting is proximity control, walking up close to the student's desk. That is, if they're, let's say they're talking or engaged in some other on-task behavior and they see a teacher standing nearby them, that'll be a cue or a prompt for them to stop engaging in that behavior and to engage in on-task behavior. I work for Los Angeles Unified School District, and I used to work in the emotional disturbance program, and there was also a program for students with autism. Now, in both of those programs, they had social skills training. And what that entailed is there'd be a classroom setting and the students would learn like how to greet people, how to accept the compliment, how to accept the gift, how to get a gift, all sorts of social situations they might find themselves involved in. There's direct instruction from the teacher. There was also some play acting and role playing as well to reinforce the skills. There were other interventions there that I was not familiar with, but I have heard of them from other sources. The ones which I have never heard about are video modeling, discrete trial teaching, and exercise. I must admit, I have seen teachers engage the students in physical exercise before entering the classroom. Now, mind you, this was not a classroom that had learners with autism. This was a general education classroom, and the teacher was just trying to get the kids to calm down, burn off some of that energy so that they can calm down in class. Another one that I have never seen used before is video modeling. Now, in video modeling, the student sees a video of someone performing the target behavior or a target skill, and it basically just shows them how to do it or shows them doing it. Discrete trial training involves one service provider working with a learner to teach a skill or a behavior. There are several trials and lots of material. There is a presentation. There's a student's response to the presentation, and then there's a consequence of the behavior that results from the presentation. There are a couple of interventions I may or may not have seen, but wish to learn more about. The first intervention that caught my interest was PECS. This is when the learner wants an item and shows someone a picture of an item so they can obtain that item. This method teaches communication and visual discrimination. Another method that I have seen is self-management. I would like to learn more about this. This is when the learner monitors their own behaviors and reinforces themselves doing a behavior. I would like to learn more about this. Time delay is called disfading in my district and involves a delay in issuing a prompt or instruction to perform a certain behavior. The goal is to have the learner respond without the prompt, make them less reliant on adult support. As for the cases of the Faces of Autism module, I must say that I like mostly Dylan and Mia. Like me, Dylan has an excellent recall of conversations he's had in the past, what he has read and what he has seen. He also has ADHD, and he has a difficult time staying focused. So when people have something in common with me, I tend to resonate with them more. He has a lot in common with me. I had a hard time focusing, but I have great recall. I like the way their parents work with them. They have a great knowledge of the child, and their dedication is awesome. Thank you, class, and have a great day.